What's going on, everyone? I'm Yoshi, and I'm the founder of Law School Mentor. So there's a ton of things that I just felt like if I had better mentors, if I had access, if I had resources, I would have known. And so fighting to find those resources myself, I met as many people as I could, and I really struggled to find myself in other people. So after meeting hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of people, I was able to build a solid community of people I saw myself in, people I looked up to, so that I could do law school the best way. I ended up graduating in the top 7% of the law school. And even after my first year, I was told that I should transfer to a different school to give myself a better shot. I knew nothing coming into law school. I didn't know where I wanted to go, what type of job I wanted to have. And my only mindset was I wanted to pursue the best opportunity that presented itself. And for many, that would be big law, a big law firm opportunity. And so realizing what it took to get into big law, I had to be in the top of the class, specifically coming from a non-top 100 school. And so I think what makes my story so unique is I was able to make it to a top 10 firm from a non-top 100 law school. And the number one question I always got was, how did you do it? And that's how the Law School Mentor was born. The Law School Mentor is much more than a law school mentor program. It's family, it's community, and there's diversity, right? And it's not just about skin color, it's about our life experiences. It's about having the opportunity to learn from someone that maybe you don't see yourself in, but you do from their journey and their experiences, and you can learn from what they have to offer. And so this isn't really about me, this is about a few individuals that I'd like for you to meet that have expanded my vision and will change the world.
My name is Stella McMillan. I go to University of Illinois Chicago School of Law, and I'm a rising 3L.
I'm Faith Hudson. I go to Northwestern Pritzker School of Law, and I'm a rising 2L.
My name is Chris Jones. I attend the University of Pennsylvania, and I'm a rising 3L.
My name is Nika Jones. I'm a 3L at the Creighton University School of Law in Omaha, Nebraska, and I am also the co-host for the Law School Mentor Virtual Coffee Talk series.
My name is Kavan McMahon. I'm a rising 2L at Northwestern Pritzker School of Law.
I am Avery Bolden. I am a rising second-year JD MBA at the University of Chicago.
I was abandoned at birth. I was left in a dumpster, and then someone found me, and I was like 2 days old. From there, lived in the orphanage in North Vietnam. So North Vietnam, we didn't have running water or working electricity. You had to walk miles to get, a water and boil it, and that was your water for the day. And so on my adoption picture, actually, I had like short hair because the bugs were eating my hair, and I was just crying all the time. And so luckily, I think everyone has, journey and purpose.
From Baltimore, I didn't do well in high school at all. Had to go to community college, even before I went to undergrad. Again, I had no intentions of wanting to go to law school.
Born in a single-parent household, and coming from someone that didn't know a lawyer at all until I applied to law school, and being able to use my experience and perspective to uplift other people who are in similar situations as me that want to go into law school and enter the legal field.
I had no idea the landscape of how law school works, like the politics behind law school, things that you should and shouldn't do. So I came in pretty blind on academics, on networking. That was a big piece that I didn't know was important, of like talking and getting to know people. Mentorship has always been important to me, so I immediately tried to seek that out. But coming into law school, I didn't know anything really, and I didn't know what I didn't know until I started.
I think the phrase, "you don't dream what you don't see," resonates very deeply with me, coming from the south side of Chicago, not knowing any lawyers beforehand. It actually took one of my friends who was in law school to even show me what big law was. I didn't know that there was anything outside of like the law and order type of lawyers out there in the world. So there's infinite amount of careers and trajectories and different places you can go with a law degree. And I think that resonates well with somebody with me, like I said, not knowing anything like that. So I think that's extremely important. There's so many different routes you can take, so many different opportunities that can lead you to even higher places that you never dreamed about. So I think seeing people of color that are like you, seeing men and women or whatever that you see a little bit of yourself in is important.
One of the most helpful things has just been talking to friends and talking to people that I've met through the law school mentor about, like, what are you doing this summer? Like, how is that going? And I think the other one is just seeing people. So this is more so getting into that vertical networking, is like seeing people who are where they want to be or where I want to be in my career. Just one, seeing that they're there, but then actually getting the exposure to talk to them about it. I think one of the rough parts about big law is that it's very secretive. Like, even in a place like Chicago, it's more so like trial by fire. So the law school mentor is like, let me see Black women who are partners at firms, which is just extremely rare, even in a city like Chicago. And I think it also allows for a space of very early advocacy, someone who wants to be in that big law space and wants to build out that sustainability, like talking to these women about what are you doing, how did you do it, and then how can we kind of export this and create a stronger pipeline from all of the schools in Chicago to where y'all are now.
I was following the law school mentor page prior to graduating from college. So I actually found out early 2022 or late 2021 from a friend who's currently a mentor. And we were going through the LSAT study process. And she said, Nika, you need to follow this page. He's giving inspiration, this guy who's an attorney. And so I followed the page and I decided to do a summer internship at Kirkland. And during that time, I remember seeing that you were there, and I kind of felt like that was the perfect segue to get one-on-one mentorship, to get one-on-one time from someone who has been through what I was preparing to go through, who understood the struggles and seemed to really just be an accessible person who wanted to help.
Most of my relationships that I've created who become my mentors have been naturally authentic. And so one of my first mentors was Yoshi Haynie. One of his biggest things he told me was intentions, being intentional with what I do, the spaces I go, the events I attend. And that really helped me because I feel like being a first generation immigrant law student and then with someone with disability, like, you want to do everything because you feel like you're not doing enough, but value your time and your energy in the spaces you go. And so that was one of the things that biggest helped me.
The law school mentor has served as like my community and family. I'm kind of cheating, but I would say those are like together, community and family. Which was really huge for me, not having any support here in Chicago. So the law school mentor served as that. Access, I think the law school mentor opened a world of doors for me by just opening me to things that I didn't know, people I didn't know, resources. Through the law school mentor, I was able to connect with other orgs and get a job, get academic support throughout my first year. Like, all of that came from my first connection with the law school mentor of attending the legal summit. And then the last one, knowledge. Like I said, starting law school, I didn't know anything and I didn't know what I didn't know. And so the law school mentor, I think, gave me the knowledge that I needed to be successful and do well my first year.
Certainly, this network has provided me fruitful relationships. You know, when I start my career here, I know who to call. You know, I know who to reach out to if I have any problems, and yeah.
The law school mentor helped me, and when Yoshi being my mentor helped me creating elevator pitches. I think that was really important because I didn't know how to brand myself. I didn't know how to tell my story. I don't usually tell people about where I come from or that the sports teams and the things I did, because I feel like that's either bragging or creating a sob story. But with the Law School Mentor, they tell you there's power in your story, whatever it looks like, and to utilize that and to how to narrow and focus it and create an elevator pitch. And I've used that multiple times than I thought I would have, and then especially in interviews. And then when I got callbacks for big law firms, I was able to help practice my callback questions and do mock interviews with the Law School Mentor. And that really helped shape my questions and help hone in my interview skills and be able to land a job.
I feel like the Law School Mentor has assisted my journey kind of just like in opening my world and opening my perspective. I'm someone who went to law school like right after undergrad, so I didn't have that working experience, and I think it was very cool to meet people through the Law School Mentor.
I think the Law School Mentor can offer community because you cannot do this legal journey alone. I think it also offers the opportunity to have personal connections with people that maybe you would have never met or seen before on your own. So I think there's a level of accessibility that we get from being a part of this community. But I also think overall there's a level of inspiration that we get from watching one another win, from the updates and the posts that are made in our group chat to seeing, that someone next to me is winning. And so I know that if they are winning, we are all winning.
Why wouldn't you support the Law School Mentor, right? I think that, and I hate to put it like this, but our counterparts have the support naturally anyway. Like we have our counterparts, and everyone who's doing the law school thing, they have support in every facet. Like some people have, family members, some people have, some close mentors and things like that. So why wouldn't you want to support something that's good for Black and brown students, right? And why wouldn't you want to be a part of the solution to the problem that we're having with lack of resources for Black and brown students? I think the Law School Mentor itself is the answer to that problem. Like, it's been an answer for the last 6 years. Like, people have truly come through this program and have transitioned out, have stayed, or just have stepped in, and they've been here. Like, it's a family first. And I think that's the biggest thing about the Law School Mentor that makes it so appealing, but it's also something that we need. So why wouldn't you be a supporter of that?
You should support the Law School Mentor because Black and brown people entering law, we are a very small percentage. There is less than 5% of lawyers are Black, and we come in already behind the game just because of the lack of knowledge, lack of resources that we have. What the Law School Mentor is trying to do is build that number, increase that percentage. And so you should support that because we need more Black and brown lawyers. In order to make change in this country, we have to have people in law, in higher spaces. The Law School Mentor is also expanding to help doctors as well. We need Black and brown people in these spaces to help us. We can't help us if we don't have people that look like us, that relate to us, that understand us in these spaces. And that's exactly what the Law School Mentor is trying to do. And so you should support that cause because literally, honestly, it's life or death for us in this country right now. And we need to support and uplift and help each other. So I hope that everyone would get behind the cause of the Law School Mentor and increase the percentage in the numbers of Black and brown lawyers and doctors.
The question is, why would you not get behind the Law School Mentor? But why should you? If you are people who care about people who look like you and people who don't look like you, it's very much like the each one teach one. I think having grown up in the part of Chicago where I grew up with the family support that I have and the family background that I have, a lot of our ability to succeed in these spaces has to do with the critical mass. Like, there were people who paved the way for us, but the ability to make this something that continues beyond and will allow our careers to succeed is the fact that there are people coming after you, and the future is determined by the people who come after you, so you can be a part of it or you can be an obstacle. And why be an obstacle when you can help people? Like, it doesn't serve anyone to make things harder for the next person?
People should get behind the Law School Mentor because the mission and value is to help underrepresented and specialized marginalized communities to get pre-law students all the way up to even still practicing attorneys. I think that the journey is not linear, but together we can help uplift each other, and we can only do that by supporting, giving back, sponsoring, giving back our time, and simple things. And I think that that's really important to invest in the Law School Mentor because there's so many students that don't know how to even apply to law school.
No matter what the Law School Mentors and people who are involved and our mentees who are involved, no matter how they decide to utilize their law degree, these are students and participants who are actually going to go out into the world and make a difference. These are people who are going to go out and have a voice. These are people who are going to go out and influence change in various industries. And so I think through supporting an organization like this, you are supporting the next generation, but you're also supporting the now generation of people who are getting ready to and have actual say in what our communities and who have an actual say in what our nation is looking like at this particular time.
My name is Devontae Johnson, and I'm the COO of the Law School Mentor. The biggest thing that I want for the Law School Mentor is I want us to be in as many law schools as possible. Like I want us to be like a program in other law schools. Like, we have the SGA and things like that, and the BOSAs and things like that. I want the Law School Mentor to be something like that in these different schools. So the biggest thing that I want to leave behind in my legacy is just, if I can expand and put us in a different school other than our home school, that would be, a great legacy to leave, because that's the starting point. And all it takes is one. And once that one happens, it'll be easy to get, anything after that.
That, 5 years, 10 years from now, will really be a community in our own pipeline. And we can, I've always been told that if opportunity doesn't knock, to build a door, but we want to build that door for many people to come and walk through and make it as easy as possible. And it's not until we get into these spaces and we dominate these spaces and we collaborate in these spaces that we are able to do such a thing. And I will say that I could foresee, the programs expanding. I've recently this year also started the Med School Mentor in partnership with my brother, who's finishing medical school this year. And so the goal behind that is also to replicate the same system, the same access, the same resources and mentorship on the medical side of things with the Med School Mentor.